Gender norms, the social norms that tell you what people think is acceptable for men and women to do. My question is, why do people think that things like this is okay to have in our society? Why do we still have gender norms in our daily lives? Why must we let our children become tools without handles? I sadly don't have the answer to that question, but I do think that we should make an effort to stop implementing gender norms into our lives and involve more equality in the world. We need to stop always making men look as big and strong as a tree and stop always making women look as frail as a hibiscus flower. My point on why I think gender norms should be removed is that it affects our children and youth. According to some researchers who studied this, they found that between the ages of 10 and 14, children began to embrace the belief that boys and girls are intrinsically different and should act like they are. Another thing that's worrying is this quote, and a 13-year-old boy in Baltimore explained that fathers aren't as protective of their sons as daughters, because a son is raised to be a man, whereas a daughter will always be a little princess. This can affect how boys and girls think kids are supposed to be raised when they become parents, which just spreads the fake information of gender norms. They also affect how children think about others, and that's not good. Another point of concern is that gender norms affect how kids think of themselves. An organization called Children's Society launched a study and found out that 44% of girls think good looks are most important, 32% of guys think good looks are most important, and 1 in 8 of the young people they interviewed think being tough is important in boys. This is a worrying result because without gender norms already existing today, that number would be decreased by a large amount, and kids won't have to worry as much about how good they look or how tough they are. One last thing that I found was that this also affects education. An article that I found written by Ike Will says that ample research drawing upon expectancy value theory has consistently indicated that girls exhibit lower expectancy and value beliefs and higher costs per math than boys from an early age on. This means that boys are expected to do better than girls in school, which means that there are less educated females in the world, which also affects futures of kids. This calls for change. We will be the ones to revert the horrible changes gender norms have brought to this world. We need to forge the handle for the tools.